2016, the year of the sheep and the goat. Are you ready for everything to change in 2016? Prophecy is unfolding around the world. Is it possible that we could be living in the latter days? Could we be facing the last moments of this generation? Bible prophecy could take off in a way that could leave many of us unprepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. Are you sure you are ready for what 2016 will bring? Much thanks to Jason A. for the video footage that is the base of this 2016 revelation. With the ever-unfolding events of the Middle East and the re-election of Netanyahu in Israel, the stage is set. The great war alluded to by Jesus in Matthew 24:7 could ignite and engulf the whole world. The accelerants of war are being poured out everywhere, and matches are in the hands of many that would like to ignite this war. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at what Jesus had to say in his futuristic prophecy in Matthew 24, beginning with verse 6. Jesus leads out and says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Well, the wars and rumors of wars are all around us. We are faced and living in a time and experiencing both trade and currency wars. Conventional war and skirmishes are happening all around us. But Jesus says, "See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation." Just the other day, Saudi Arabia broke off diplomatic ties with Iran. Syria is engulfed in war and being bombed by both Russia and the U.S. and a coalition of nations. We are witnessing the exodus of millions of people from Syria and the surrounding regions. Mankind has not witnessed such an exodus of humanity since Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt. Damascus is looking like a ruinous heap. In the time of Isaiah, Damascus was a city in the land of Syria. Isaiah is given a prophetic vision about what is to become of Damascus. In Isaiah 17:1, the burden of Damascus, Isaiah is told, "Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap." If you go to the internet and view any of the images of Damascus and the surrounding cities or regions, it looked like somebody detonated a atom bomb in there. It is, as the Bible describes it, a ruinous heap. Words, where Isaiah is given a vision about the mass migration, the exodus of humanity from Damascus and Syria because of war. So are we witnessing the fulfillment of Damascus no longer being a city? I'll let you decide. Back to Matthew 24:7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows, Jesus says. But after wars and rumors of wars, the very next thing that Jesus lists is famines. Natural famines are the result of climate change. Natural climate change. Natural, not man-made, but natural climate change is always the precursor to famine. Famine is a result of a change in the prevailing conditions in a region or the earth itself. Climate change, natural climate change, gave rise or birth to the famine that drove Jacob out of his home in Canaan over into Goshen, Egypt. Natural climate change, not man-made, natural climate change, i.e. earth cycles, gave birth to the greatest transference of wealth the civilized world had ever seen in the days of Jacob and Joseph. Natural climate change, not man-made, natural climate change was a precursor to famine in the days of Jacob and Joseph. Natural climate change, not man-made, was a precursor to famine in those days, and famine was a precursor to a collapse in the currency or the money in the days of Jacob and Joseph. Why do I bring this up? Because what are we hearing? The buzzwords all over the internet, all over the news. World leaders are meeting in the U.S., meeting in Paris, meeting in diverse places around the globe, and at the head of the list of things to be discussed that the world is facing, number one on the list is climate change. There is no doubt that man-made and natural climate change is happening all around us. The evidence is irrefutable. But when I speak of climate change, which leads to famine or as a precursor to famine, I use the phrase the way the managers and the manipulators of humanity use it. I use it this way so that we can decode the message of the warning that man-made and natural climate change is upon us. The climate change or the prevailing conditions of the earth and the people are being driven by both man and nature. Natural climate change happens when the gases that are released by the earth are affected by the sun, and the sun's effect upon these gases brings about atmospheric changes in the air that surrounds the earth. And if left unmitigated long enough, this atmospheric change will become the climate or the prevailing conditions of the earth. This is natural climate change. Man-made climate change within the people is brought about by injecting toxic gases and vibrations of man-made fear, fret, hatred, and the insatiable desire to be, to do, and to have more of what life on earth has to offer us. Once these gases and vibrations are introduced into the air or the atmosphere surrounding the soul, and if left unmitigated, they too will become the prevailing conditions or the climate of the soul. So yes, man-made and natural climate change is upon us and all around us. And man is responsible for some of it, but not in the way you and I are being told. The managers and manipulators of humanity tell you and I that the consumption of fossil fuels are the main causes of greenhouse gases, and because we, the people, have not lessened our consumption and use thereof, we, the people, have brought climate change upon ourselves. And it is we, the people, that should bear the brunt and the cost of mitigating this man-made climate change, the only kind that the M&M crowd will admit to being real. Natural climate change, i.e. earth cycles, brought on famine and a failure of the monetary system in the days of Jacob and Joseph. Read Genesis 47, verses 13 through 27 to see what I speak of. This natural and not man-made climate change that gave birth to famine in the days of Jacob and Joseph and led to the exodus of the 12 tribes of Israel from Canaan into Goshen, Egypt. This natural climate change, which was a precursor to famine, and famine the precursor to the greatest transference of wealth the civilized world has ever known. Natural and not man-made climate change will bring about the collapse of the monetary system that we know today. Man-made climate change will bring about the enslavement of the people, just as it did in the days of Jacob and Joseph. Jesus in his prophecy in Matthew 24:7 speaks of an amplified time of change and famine like that of Jacob and Joseph's day that will be brought on by natural climate change. But the amplification of this time, which Jesus says will be like no other time before it, the amplification of this time will be a result of man-made atmospheric changes to the air, the aura, the breath, the magnetic field, the spirit that surrounds the soul. These man-made climate changes will usher in a new system of money, a new age that will allow humanity to still partake of the affluence and opulence that life on earth will still have to offer. Man-made climate change will be the porter at the door of the age of the beast and his mark. 2016 is about the separation of the sheep and the goat. "2016, the year of the sheep and the goat, is about the setting of the stage for the coming new worldwide order that will emerge out of the chaos of a worldwide collapse in the value or buying power of paper currency. Real money, i.e. tangible assets, or things that retain their value, will be the currency of the ruling class. Natural and man-made climate change, as it did in the days of Jacob and Joseph, will once again give birth to the greatest famine in food, finances, and real money, i.e. tangible assets, that the common people have ever known. The earth, or world as some call it, however, will still be rich with delights and desires that the masses will long to satisfy. However, the means to sampling and satisfying these delights and desires will move from the hands of the people to the ruling elite. Fiat and fake money, i.e. paper currency, will abound in the hands of the many. However, the value or purchasing power of it will render it virtually worthless. And then and only then will the illusion of paper currency as real money will end. The age of paper currency will be over. A new way will be needed to do, to be, and to have more of what life on earth will still have to offer. A new order, a new world system of digital money, accessible only by those who are willing to become part of this new digital worldwide system of currency. The new way to access this digital currency, or digital credits as some will call it, is being laid out as I speak. What you are about to see is an introduction
into how the digital currency world will work.
So many people rushing to the stores today, the ATMs of America will be humming with activity, dispensing cash for last-minute gifts. But this morning, we're getting a glimpse of what could be the future, new technology that would render your ATM card a relic. ABC's Gio Benitez is here with more. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Lara. You really won't believe your eyes, or maybe I should say, you won't believe what your eyes can do, and that's because your cornea may become your next debit card.
Agent confirmed.
It's like a scene out of Mission Impossible. But biometrics are no longer the future. They're here. Citibank giving GMA an exclusive look inside at City Innovation Lab, where they are in the early stages of testing this high-tech ATM that uses your eyes, not a card, to verify your identity.
Let's say you wanted $60, and you'd say okay.
And when you arrive at the ATM,
just identify yourself, get your money. There's no more card, there's no more PIN, no more paper receipt.
when it comes to cardless ATMs, Bank of America says it is also testing them, and JP Morgan says it already plans to roll some out in late 2016.
Use your fingerprint and enter your PIN.
The iris scan. It is the second most reliable marker in your body behind the DNA.
Again, this technology is not out yet. It's still being tested. Citibank says it's important they get it right before it launches. In fact, they don't even know yet when it's going to be released, but I kind of want it now.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
it's an unbelievable bit of technology.
Yeah.
Gio, thank you so much.
When you go to the doctor's office, you may be asked to place your hand over a strange-looking device. It's called a palm scanner.
It looks like something out of a futuristic movie, but it is the real deal. It begins with its scanning your palm to create a unique identification code linked to your medical records.
Juba, the closest battleground to Damascus.
What you're about to see is a testament to the brutality and ferocity of the Syrian civil war. Every house, every street, every block
Cut or north, rebels say they won't give up their only foothold in the capital, especially considering that the fate of Damascus may well be decided in this scarred ruin.
Scale.